Hi guys, my name is Megan and today I have a spring reading recommendation video for you. So the first book that I'd like to recommend today is Foolish Hearts. This book pulled at my heartstrings. It was absolutely lovely. This book follows Claudia and she accidentally overhears one of the most popular couples at school breaking up. It kind of follows Claudia as she gets on the bad side of one of these girls and basically they end up having to be partnered up in one of their classes and they fail a project and their teacher makes them try out for the play, Midsummer Night's Dream. There's all sorts of really cool, cute friendships that ensue, and it's just really sweet and just an all-around lovely book, and it would be really great for a spring read. It's cute and it's fluffy, and I'm not a huge contemporary fan, but this book pulled at my heartstrings and it was beautiful and I highly recommend it. This has a lovely vibe for spring. So the next book that I would like to recommend is The Nightmare Affair. This book has a kind of a really cool like Arthurian legends and Greek mythology mashed together. So the main character in this, Dusty Everhart, is a nightmare. So a nightmare is basically somebody that feeds off of bad dreams and dreams in general. Dusty is half human and half nightmare, and she goes to this academy for these like supernatural creatures, so witches, sirens, warlocks, demons, all sorts of other really cool interesting characters, and Dusty is the only nightmare in attendance because nightmares were kind of almost eliminated. Wow, it is pouring down rain outside. I don't know if y'all can hear that on the camera, but it is pouring. I really just found this book whimsical, and I love the Arthurian legends mixed into this. It was just so different from a lot of like school or like boarding school type stories, and a lot of stories that involve magic are so different from this. So this has kind of got that vibe of starting new and starting something different and that kind of a vibe to it. Which is kind of why I'm recommending it for a spring read. So this book is really, really interesting, and I really love the Arthurian legends mixed into this, so that kind of makes me think summer or spring. So this one is one that I would definitely recommend. The next book that I would recommend would be Trickster's Choice by Tamora Pierce. So this book is set in Tortal. It follows Allianne of Pirate Swoop, who is Alana the Lioness's daughter, and this basically has to do with a big huge rebellion in a kingdom that's not quite hostile to Tortal, but definitely not friendly, and it's having to do with a rebellion and overthrowing a corrupt government and slavery and all sorts of really interesting topics that I think are great for spring. I don't know why, but I always kind of associate rebellions and uprising with spring for some reason. So this book really fits that goal for me, because who doesn't want to start spring off with a big huge rebellion in a story, right? Anyway, this one is one that I highly recommend, but this one is really good for spring just to like cleanse your palate and start something new and different. The next book that I would recommend for a spring read is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. This book is absolutely beautiful. It's whimsical and fairy tale-like and just all around really beautifully written and wonderful, and there's not enough good things that I could say about this book. Neil Gaiman is known for his beautiful writing, and this one is definitely one that I would highly recommend no matter what the season, but especially for spring since this deals a lot with fairy tales and magic and adventures, and this is just a beautifully written book. This is basically the story of a young man named Tristan, and he wants to get the most beautiful fallen star for this girl to make her fall in love with him, and to do that he has to go on this adventure beyond the wall, which is kind of this magical boundary to keep humans away from the lands of fairy, and Tristan learns that he's fairy and goes on this wonderful adventure and falls in love with a fallen star. It's just beautiful. The next book that I would recommend for a spring read is The Night Circus. This book gets so much praise, definitely deserving of it. This is enchanting and magical and just a wonderful story. So this is like the story of this circus that is fueled by magic, and these two magicians are dueling but they don't know who the other is, and they soon fall in love, and it's just a really beautiful tale of love and magic and a beautiful circus, and it's just really like mesmerizing and just, I don't even know how to describe it. I love this book and it's definitely due for a reread, but this has a beautiful love story mixed into it, and this is just a wonderful story and I highly recommend it any time of the year, but especially for spring. So the next book that I'm going to recommend is Cry Wolf. So this is the first book in the Alpha and Omega series by Patricia Briggs. This is a spin-off series of the Mercy Thompson series, which is one of my absolute faves. And I love this series too. I love both of them and I love how they cross over and mixed together. This is kind of a new start to a series, and it's got new characters, and the main character, Anna, was kind of attacked by werewolves and abused by her pack, and she's rescued by Charles, the son of the Maroc, who is the head werewolf of the United States, I guess. And it's basically a chance for Anna to start over and learn how to be a proper werewolf and learn how to live her life without threats of abuse and learn how to use her powers, and it's just really a great read. I loved that it's a new character in one of my favorite worlds, so that's why I'm recommending this one. It's a really good start, and if you love werewolves or vampires or the Mercy Thompson series in general, this one's a really good one to get into. So the last book that I'm going to recommend is a romance book, and I know it's probably a little cheesy, but it is Brownies and Broomsticks. This is the first book in the Magical Bakery mystery series. This book is really like fluffy and a love story, but also a mystery, and it's about a bakery that the baker's a witch and she puts all of these magics and all sorts of really cool stuff mixed into her baked goods. This book is really fluffy and just one that'll make you happy, and I love things that are centered around like bake shops or bookstores or consignment shops or that kind of thing. I love books that are centered around that kind of thing, and this one is just really cute and fluffy and sweet, and it's definitely a spring read if you want a fluffy, magical, romantic mystery, I guess is what I'm trying to say. This would be like the perfect book for you. Okay, so those are all of my spring reading recommendations for you. I know some of them aren't necessarily spring-ish, but I feel like they would make a really wonderful start to spring, so I hope you guys enjoyed these. What books would you guys recommend for a spring read? Let me know down below. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. You can also hit the notification button to get notifications when I post a new video. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, check out the links in the description box below. Alrighty, bye guys!